Hello everyone, this is Dr. Farrah Arif, and today I would like to talk about one of my favorite brands, which is Apple. What has made Apple the Apple? So we will explore Apple's journey with help of Steve Jobs' video, which I find a Bible for the marketers. All marketers should go through that text or should listen to the video to better understand the whole concept, or I would say the game of marketing. So let's move forward. As I've said, that Apple has created a history in the near past by not only establishing itself a global brand, but also by reaching $1 trillion company status. And it's the first company which has reached to this status, $1 trillion. And it is also it has also become a biggest brand in the world, and in 2018 it was at number 2, but as of today, as I'm talking to you, it has become the number 1 brand. Now one wonders what has happened in the near past. What are the values, what are the contexts, what are the strategies which has made Apple the number 1 brand in the global framework? Now, let's move forward and let's talk about Steve Jobs' role in the creation of this global brand, the biggest brand as we are aware of. I would like you to listen to Steve Jobs' video. This is about 7 minutes long video. And after this video, I will have my take on this, and then we will wrap up today's session. So let me play the video for you.
To me, marketing is about values. This is a very complicated world. It's a very noisy world. And we're not going to get a chance to get people to remember much about us. No company is. And so we have to be really clear on what we want them to know about us. Now, Apple, fortunately, is one of the half a dozen best brands in the whole world. Right up there with Nike, Disney, Coke, Sony. It is one of the greats of the greats, not just in this country, but all around the globe. And, but even a great brand needs investment and caring if it's going to retain its relevance and vitality. And the Apple brand has clearly suffered from neglect in this area in the last few years. And we need to bring it back. The way to do that is not to talk about speeds and feeds. It's not to talk about MIPS and megahertz. It's not to talk about why we're better than Windows. The dairy industry tried for 20 years to convince you that milk was good for you. It's a lie, but they tried anyway. And the sales were going like this. And then they tried Got Milk, and the sales are going like this. Got Milk doesn't even talk about the product. Matter of fact, it focuses on the absence of the product. But the best example of all, and one of the greatest jobs of marketing the universe has ever seen is Nike. Remember, Nike sells a commodity. They sell shoes. And yet, when you think of Nike, you feel something different than a shoe company. In their ads, as you know, they don't ever talk about the product. They don't ever tell you about their air soles and why they're better than Reebok's air soles. What does Nike do in their advertising? They honor great athletes and they honor great athletics. That's who they are. That's what they are about. Apple spends a fortune on advertising. You'd never know it. You'd never know it. So when I got here, Apple just fired their agency. They were doing a competition with 23 agencies that, 4 years from now would pick one. And we blew that up, and we hired Chiat, the ad agency that I was fortunate enough to work with years ago. We created some award-winning work, including the commercial voted the best ad ever made in 1984 by advertising professionals. And we started working about 8 weeks ago. And the question we asked was, our customers want to know who is Apple and what is it that we stand for? Where do we fit in this world? And what we're about isn't making boxes for people to get their jobs done, although we do that well. We do that better than almost anybody in some cases. But Apple's about something more than that. Apple, at the core, its core value, is that we believe that people with passion can change the world for the better. That's what we believe. And we've had the opportunity to work with people like that. We've had an opportunity to work with people like you, with software developers, with customers who have done it in some big and some small ways. And we believe that in this world, people can change it for the better. And that those people that are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that actually do. And so what we're going to do in our first brand marketing campaign in several years is to get back to that core value. A lot of things have changed. The market's a totally different place than it was a decade ago. And Apple's totally different, and Apple's place in it is totally different. And believe me, the products and the distribution strategy and the manufacturing are totally different, and we understand that. But values and core values, those things shouldn't change. The things that Apple believed in at its core are the same things that Apple really stands for today. And so we wanted to find a way to communicate this. And what we have is something that I'm very moved by. It honors those people who have changed the world. Some of them are living, some of them are not. But the ones that aren't, as you'll see, you know that if they'd ever used a computer, it would have been a Mac. And the theme of the campaign is Think Different.
So I'll stop you over here. After this, Steve Jobs shows the advertisement, which I will also show you, that he's talking about. This speech that he is giving, this was when Apple was relaunched in 1997. So he's talking to his team, and they have also launched an advertisement, which I'll show you in a moment. But if we have to get the takeaways of his about 7-minute speech, so the biggest takeaway is that marketing is all about values. So if you don't have a value as a company, you can't do marketing. So the very first thing is to explore what value do you have. And as he correctly pointed out, that this is a very noisy world. There are like thousands of brands around us. How will you get recognized? That's the question. And that question will be answered through your values, because they will be distinctive, which will differentiate you from the clutter, because not all the companies truly understand the meanings of value. Then he talks about the secret sauce of Nike. Why Nike? As he's correctly pointed out, Nike sells commodities, shoes, right? But it has become the brand. Why? Because they have a value, and the value is that they respect athletes. So if you want to become an athlete, then you should be wearing Nike. Why? Because Nike resonates with athletes. And then he talks about Apple's mantra. Apple's mantra is that passionate people can change the world. Now, it's very interesting that he is kind of challenging his customers, that are you the ones who can change the world? Are you the crazy ones? It's a very bold statement, and it's a very bold positioning that Apple has taken. And in the end, he talks about this, that you can change your tactics, but the core values should remain the same. And the core values of Apple is to respect, to show respect to those who are passionate and who can change the world, and they truly believe in it. So let's see the advertisement. It's a beautiful ad that they have made. Again, a clutter breaking ad. And that's the dream of any marketer in any case. So let me show you the ad.
Is the people, honoring the people who think different and who move this world forward. And it is what we are about. It touches the soul of this company. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it, and I hope that you feel the same way about it I do.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
That's brilliant. This ad. Whenever I see this ad, I really feel that wow, this is so cool. So Steve Jobs has laid the foundation of Apple with this passion, innovation, and as I kept on saying in my first video, if you have seen it, 1.1, I have talked about this, that marketing is the center stage or the heart of the business. So that's what he's talking about, actually, that marketing is all about values, and values is all about the business, the company. Now, one other thing that I would like to highlight over here is the Apple as the company of service. So you must be wondering why Dr. Farah is saying this, because Apple sells laptops, computers, mobile phones, and all the technology stuff, right? But why I'm saying that this is also the company of service, because that is again one of the innovations that Apple has brought in, has become the first company of electronics which actually let the customers play with their gadgets. So if you have ever gone to an Apple's outlet, it's a beautiful outlet, a big outlet, and you will see the laptops and the iPhones and the other gadgets are lying, and people are coming. Some people go there and check their emails as well. Go online. So they let the customers have the feel of the product. So that is something which is very, very important. And their salespeople are not just called salespeople, they are called specialists. So these are young, energetic people who have passion about Apple products. They are selected as Apple specialists. So this is the kind of an environment that Apple has created in its outlet, which again outsmarts the rest of the competitors. They have failed to do so. So this mantra of think differently, which has become now a very common phrase, actually, when we say, oh, think different. So this think different is something that can really make you, it really separates you from the clutter. So Apple has done it, and I'm not saying that other companies have not done it. We all have been trying to do it, and that is the spirit. This is what we should be working at. So in today's session, we explored Apple as a company which inspires us to do better in marketing. And I'm sure we all will strive for it. We will try for it. Thank you.